Hubby's new secretary sits on my face, while Hubby takes her ass. Female Cuckolds 15. Cuckquean Erotica, Anal Sex Erotica, BDSM Erotica, Lesbian Erotica, Threesome Erotica. Written by Connie Cuckquean. Narrated by Sallybeth. Hubby's new secretary sits on my face, while Hubby takes her ass. Jennifer stood at the kitchen basin, hand-washing Mrs. Wester's pantyhose, just as she'd requested. Jennifer had been told explicitly not to use the washing machine. Mrs. Wester's garments were of the highest class, and the rough spinning of the machine would be no good for them at all. Besides, why should Jennifer get an evening to herself? While Jennifer stayed home and scrubbed, her husband Michael and Mrs. Wester parted. They were becoming quite the socialites. Jennifer was never allowed to mingle much with the higher-ups at Michael's company, but Mrs. Wester fit right in amongst them. The party, though, had been somewhat of a washout, and Mrs. Wester and Michael had left early, much to Mrs. Wester's annoyance. She hoped for an evening of frivolities, but had been left disappointed. Mrs. Wester brought her energy and emotion home with her, and when she crossed the threshold of Jennifer's and Michael's home, with Michael trailing behind her, she was not in a good mood. Jennifer heard the door and stopped scrubbing. She could feel her heart pounding, because the two possible scenarios were both a frightening thrill. Either Jennifer was about to face an intruder, or Mrs. Wester had returned home early. Jennifer turned at the basin and looked back with curious trepidation. She heard the click of high heels, but no sensation of relief followed it. Jennifer would have perhaps been happier to see a burglar. "You're back early?" asked Jennifer, as Mrs. Wester appeared now in the door. The dom stood tall in her stilettos, handmade by Manolo Blahnik, in a fetching blue satin that matched her skin-tight mini-dress. The impeccable Razor Vanessa dress hugged Mrs. Wester's frame as though it was shrink-wrapped. The dress was so thin and close to the skin that Mrs. Wester had foregone a bra, much to the delight of the older men at the party. Jennifer tried not to stare at Mrs. Wester's beautiful nipples that punched out against the bust of her dress as she stood powerfully in the doorway, her legs astride. Her sheer black nylon Gucci pantyhose ran up her powerful legs and disappeared beneath the shortest of skirts. Jennifer had no idea how Mrs. Wester managed to keep her modesty covered. The reality was that Mrs. Wester often didn't, and she didn't care.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?